let's get a good look at that patch. There's a lot more of it. We're gonna come back to that in just a minute. But first, welcome back to TBRD. Yeah, beautiful afternoon as we're heading home from work. It is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I haven't seen a 7 in the temperature in some time. This week on the vlog, gonna give you a quick update on this S1000XR repair job. And then we're gonna be talking about 5 things to keep in mind as the weather turns from winter to spring, which it hasn't done yet, although that temperature would fool you. As you start to get out here and ride a bit more, I'm definitely seeing some more motorcyclists out and about and on the road. So we're talking about just some quick reminders and things to keep in mind as you get reacquainted with your machine. So before I do that, let's hit the quick update on the repair job for this S1000XR. I got called the other day from Bob's BMW, my preferred dealership of choice. Talked a lot about them in the past. Fantastic. Check out Bob's if you ever are in and around the Baltimore area. But anyways, I got a call from the shop. All of the parts are in, even the parts that came from Berlin. So we're going to get the machine down there hopefully next week, weather permitting. It does look like, even though it's 70 right now, there's some snow in the forecast next week, and then some cold rain later on when the appointment's set up for. So hopefully that changes over the next 10 days. But we're going to get the machine down there, get those parts and pieces replaced that we had that slight issue with. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and check the video linked up above. Alright, so 5 things to keep in mind when the weather starts warming up and you're out here riding on your bike. Well, the first one, as we faded into the video, you saw that quick patch, that black asphalt quick patch, which if you are in at least the northeastern part of the United States, you are probably intimately familiar with that stuff. And I have a love-hate relationship with it. If I'm being honest, it's mostly a hate relationship. But let me explain, right? So it gets thrown down into cracks, crevices, and potholes. It's like a quick repair. And I guess the love part of that love-hate relationship is it beats the hell out of running your front tire or your rear tire or any tire if you're on a car through a huge pothole and blowing out a tire and banging up your rim, which we have done up here in these parts, because you get some crater-sized potholes. The hate part of the relationship, though, is that stuff is just so tacky and it flings up all over your motorcycle, your car, whatever vehicle you're in. And what you'll notice is if it's cooler out, it's not bad. But as the temperature heats up, it'll become re-tacky and kind of get soft again to the point where it's flinging all over your vehicles, and it can chip up the paint or just kind of make a tarry mess of it all. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of it. Although, like I said, it does beat blown out a tire or blown out a rim. So that's the first thing I would say. You're going to see a lot of that as we get into this time of the riding season in spring. And that is because the second thing that you need to keep in mind as you start to get into spring is there are a lot of potholes out, or at least if you're in my neck of the woods there are. And that's twofold. Here's 2 reasons why there are more potholes. One, because I'm convinced they're making these roads out of gingerbread anymore. Concrete, asphalt, I don't know what they're using in their mixture, but if it rains hard, it seems to blow the road out and cause potholes. But seriously, this time of year, that freeze and defrost cycle that you get in the winter, and that water seeps down into cracks in the road, and then it freezes and expands and it blows out very large potholes. So to get some of those temporarily fixed until they get out and do some of the more permanent repairs as we get on later in the spring towards summer, you're going to see a lot of that quick patch get thrown down into those potholes. So you got to be aware of those potholes because until they are fixed, they can do some damage to your bike and really just kind of ruin a good day out riding. So you want to make sure you're aware of those. The third thing I would say that you want to keep in mind when you are getting back out on the bike more frequently, if you are the kind of person who winterizes your ride or just couldn't get out because of the weather, is not everyone's out here looking for bikes. And I think that's something we already know as riders, that it's really important to be seen. And this time of year especially, if folks aren't looking for you, you want to make sure that you're doing everything you can be doing to be seen, whether that's in your apparel, your lane positioning, your riding, and just kind of, as always, defensively riding. But I find I get cut off and pulled out in front of more than ever, really in the winter and spring. And I think sometimes it's just because people aren't looking for you. So make sure that you are being seen. The fourth thing that I would tell you is really important as you get out, if you haven't been riding a lot, is take a moment to reacquaint yourself with your machine. And I don't just mean in the garage, I mean as you get out here on the road. Yeah. So as you get out here and start riding more, you're going to want to reacquaint yourself with everything about your bike. The throttle, the clutch positioning, the friction zones. It might feel a little unfamiliar if you haven't ridden in a while, or in my case, I got my nice lighter gloves on, which gives me a great tactile feel. After I switch over from my thicker winter gloves to these, it just feels a little different where that friction zone engages. Not that it's engaging a different spot, but it feels different because the gloves are more tactile. So take a ride or two to really get reacquainted. You'll be appreciative of the fact that you did so. Number five. The fifth thing about riding this time of year as we go from winter into spring is it is a beautiful 70 degrees right now. However, when I was coming to work this morning, it was 34. So when you have these 20 to 30 to 35 to today 36 degree temperature swings, you're going to want to really be thinking about layering. Nothing can ruin your day of riding thinking that it's going to be this beautiful ride home at 70 degrees and sunny, and you take off invented riding gear, light gloves. You're not following any of those good layering habits that I talked about for winter riding. And the fact is, 34 is 34, whether it's 70 in the afternoon or not. 34 is still really cold in the morning. So you want to give a little extra consideration to your riding apparel. I pack a few extra layers. Actually, I wear those extra layers. I pack them on the way home. I actually bring both pairs of gloves. I got my winter riding gloves, which are behind me in my top case. And I prefer to ride with my lighter riding gloves when I can. But at 34, it's a little chilly for them, so I bring those thicker gloves in the morning. So that's another important consideration for you as you get back out on the roads more frequently. And I am just so excited to be back out here on the roads in warmer weather. As you know, if you follow the channel, I ride year round. Keep it in your lane, buddy. I ride year round, but there's something about 70 degrees and sunshine and being on your bike and riding home from work. It is just a great, great joy. Alright, that's going to do it for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already done so, please consider hitting that notification bell, the subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. Appreciate all the support that I've received from my nearly, at the time of making this video, 600 subscribers. So that's I'm really excited about that. We'll be talking a little bit more about that in the future. As I like to say, until next time, keep the throttle back, the rubber down, and enjoy the ride.